Solving problems involving quadratic equations. For our first problem, we're going to use distance, speed, time formula. So allow me to read first this problem. A train travels 240 kilometers at a uniform rate. If the speed has been 8 kilometers per hour more, the journey would have taken 1 hour less. What is the speed of the train? In this case, we're going to have here a table first, like naming a distance for D, S for speed, and T for time. For the distance, we have here, according to our first sentence, a train travels 240 kilometers at a uniform rate. So that will be our distance. Since this is the uniform rate, we don't know the speed. So I'll be using S for the speed and T for the time. So this is the standard travel, what the train is doing for 240 kilometers. And then the second sentence is, if the speed has been 8 kilometers per hour more. So we're going to add to our speed here. Again, this is S. Maybe I should change S to X so that we are not confused with number 5. I'll be changing this to X. So again, I represent the speed as the value of X. If the speed has been 8 kilometers per hour, so I'm going to add AX plus 8. So meaning this one, 8 kilometers per hour more. Their journey would have taken 1 hour less. So there will be some deduction to our time, 1 hour less. What is the speed of the train? And actually this is still 240 kilometers. Now, since we're looking for the speed, we're going to have our formula for time. Time equals distance over S. So we're going to have this formula, time equals distance over speed. Now, let's try for this first column to 40 x and t. Substitute, we're going to have here for the time is t equals 240 over x. So for the next equation, we're going to have t minus 1 equals 240 over x plus 8. So for our equation, we're going to combine the two, these two equation. Since t is equals to 240x, so here I'm going to change this t, this time, to 240x. So again, I'll be writing here 240 minus 1, or sorry, 240x minus 1 equals 240 over x plus 8. So this will be our equation. Next, I'll be erasing this one. Since this are, I'll just use this as a sketch to formulate the equation. Now, we can solve for x since we're just, x stands for, or it represents the speed of the train. After getting the equation, let's now proceed with solving. First, determine the LCD. Again, as you recall, the LCD is based on the denominator. Our denominator here is x and x plus 8. So meaning, I'll be having my LCD as x times x plus 8. Since that is the denominator and there's no common factor between the two denominators. Next, let's go with the solution. So for the solution, just copy first again, 240 over x minus 1 equals 240 over x plus 8. Now let us multiply both sides of the equation by the LCD. I'm going to have here x plus 8. There is x plus 8. So sorry, I forgot the x here. There should be an x here. X times x plus 8. There you go. Then again, I'll continue here for the solution. Now distribute this LCD to each term here. So let's start with the first term. So I'm going to have here 240x times x plus 8. And then on the second term, multiply it again. So minus x times x plus 8. Sorry, I forgot the denominator here. I'm going to have your x equals, and then multiply the LCD on the right side to the numerator. So this is going to be 240 x times x plus 8 all over x plus 8. The next thing to do is to cancel out some factors, like here x can be canceled out. So I'll be having here 240x multiplying this here, and then again multiplying here will give me plus 1920, and then multiply this here. But before that, make sure to check the sign. Our sign here is negative. So negative x times x will give me negative x. And then negative x times 8 will give me negative 8x equals. Now, on the right side of the equation, common factor are x plus 8. So cancel that out, equals 240x. Now, let us combine some terms and see what will our standard form is. Oops, sorry about this one. Forgot to multiply this one. X times x squared. X is x squared. So let me correct this one. This is going to be x squared, right? That is negative x times x, negative x squared. Combining like terms, I'm going to have here negative x squared minus 8x, and copy this one, 240x, so plus 240x. And then here I have 250x, so minus 240x, that is by APE. And then don't forget to write the constant term, which is plus 1920 equals 0. Next, look at this one, 240x minus 240x, so we can cancel that out since it will give us 0. So what's left is negative x squared minus 8x plus 1920 equals 0. Now I'm going to rearrange this one by APE. Maybe you can think this as, this can also be right as x squared plus 8x minus 1920 equals 0. You can divide both sides by -1 to make the quadratic term positive. So as you can see, we have here a negative quadratic term. So I just want to make it a positive quadratic term. So multiply or divide both sides by -1. Just get the same equation. Next, I'll be using factoring. I'm going to factor this out. So this is going to be looking at negative 1920. This will give me, I think, x minus 40 and x plus 48 equals 0. Again, negative 40 plus 48 will give me 8. So I think this is the appropriate factor. Next, zero product property. This will give me x minus 40 is equals to x equals 40. And then the other one is x equals negative 48. And since there is no negative speed, so I'll go with x equals 40. So this is my speed of the train. So I need to put some unit of measurement, which is kilometer per hour. Kilometer per hour. So 40 kilometer per hour is the speed of the train. So maybe I could write it here. So make some conclusion. Therefore, the speed of the train is 40 kilometers per hour.